3 years ago, maybe about 3 years ago, we were talking about VOW and crypto rewards as it was at the time. And we knew all of these parts were coming together where they are now. We didn't know how really, but we believed. And I think that belief is manifested today in something crazy. It's better than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
I mean, you did amazing. Like the best. I mean, you saw standing ovations for Paul. Very clear explanation of what's going on. And I think that coupled with Eric and Tom and Barry and just the credibility of everything coming to that thing, I think was really kind of special.
Yeah, and what I really did enjoy about the fact is this is our experience every day because we are surrounded by each other when we work. And this was one of the first events and first public outings, if we're of the company, where...
I told you I was going to out you.
Yes, lovely. That
on camera.
Oh well. And it of course it was always coming, but we never ever came above radar because we were operating under the whole directive of work like little ants, until we thought it was time where we could unveil the project.
Yeah, that's true.
Because so many other projects promise something and they don't deliver. They say things what they're going to do and they don't do it. And how many nights have we spent saying, okay, we're not going to do it yet because we want to complete this and this and this, these and these and these partnerships. And when you present it all at once as some sort of like a big smorgasbord, then together it sounds more synergistic than if you compartmentalize it. And I think that really resonated with everybody in the crowd.
I completely agree with you. I am shocked by what we've just witnessed, because even when, like, we're not salespeople in the way of selling to large crowds of people,
Yeah.
And in fact, the whole organization and the whole concept is purpose built to not sell anything to people. It has to be for their own self-interest on every level. So there is no central company selling anything. And that was always a concern, to have a company where nobody needed to buy. Because if it's a company, then people have to buy things. If it's not a company, people don't need to buy things. And this is why the elevation of this to foundation is important. And obviously the word vow. But yeah, it was crazy. It felt like we were coming of age. Something was coming of age,
Another milestone, another stepping stone.
So many people said, you need to go now, you need to go and promote it, you need to go and tell everyone. And every time it was hold back, hold until we're ready. Now we're ready.
And it was a very difficult thing to hold back because we had doubters. Oh, there's no app, there's no agreement. You don't have that partnership. But that's fine, because what we really are focusing on is taking care of people within our community, and whoever's standing outside of that, we don't have to represent their interest. And this was the best strategy, bar none. And when I asked myself, how effective was this event? And the number one metric that I'm looking at is the people who come up to me after this event and they said, I like the event, and then they don't stop there.
Yeah,
right. They go, I like this event because, and then 99% of the time they said, because I understand this and this and this and this. So basically, that feeds my soul, because we appeal to them from the perspective of understanding. And we can light that fire in their minds, which now they can go and communicate to others. Because if it's just something like a motivation based on maybe a promise of profits, or maybe some other empty platitude, then that dissolves, because there's nothing there to maintain your motivational levels. But if you understand something, you want to explain it to others. You want to tell them, this is why this is good. And that is what I loved about the whole event.
Yeah, it's just the whole feeling now, because we can't forget 500 people that rocked up, plus 3,000 on the Zoom call already, which is what I gather it was. To me, that's insane. Like that is not something we imagined, really. Right?
No, a couple of weeks ago, how many people?
It's growing by like 200 people a day out of like people just talking to people. And now that it solidifies into something real where they can communicate effectively, so they understand this is not some alternative, let's put it that way. Yeah, this is something very special and focused on decentralization. So just to see those people, wow, 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 wow. God, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. And I
They
think
give them energy and they give it back.
that doesn't happen for free, right? That doesn't happen for nothing. There are 500 people that have traveled from all over the world to come here. We didn't pay them to come yet. That's because they believe. And every one of them on camera took a vow. That's great. You have 500 people on camera who took a vow and now are wearing the badge. Sooner or later, that will be 1 million if we do this right.
Did you hear a peep in that crowd? Did you see anybody stand up and leave?
No, it's crazy. No one even wanted to pee.
I mean, this is something that we were always hoping that we could get to, because ourselves, whenever you're working on a project, you tend to be biased, and a lot of times you're like, are we deluding ourselves? But when it starts to gather more and more credible people, more and more projects, more and more investments, and you have a caliber of crew that we have assembled, that everybody else saw line up here on stage and communicate so effectively, so clearly their role in place in the whole ecosystem, that is what creates that resonance, right? So that is years of work coming together like a crescendo,
That's
and that's what we saw today.
I couldn't have said it better. The other thing is Eric. Oh my God, he got on stage and he's just mind blowing, right? His explanation of things, that I take this role of like the originator, but I can't do it without everyone, and his way he explained it better than I could, of where we go one, we go all. That's pretty important.
I love it.
That's amazing. Everyone together, all on the same level with the same badges, because everyone is essential to making it work. It's never one person. And this is what the beautiful thing about, we actually wanted a guy. We need to do it the next time. We're going to have a guy with like instead of a Subway hat, it's going to be a smart contract. And we're going to say, this is the CEO of this last network, because that's true. That is what it is.
Exactly.
It's a smart contract, a smart cookie.
Getting back to what you just said about Eric, is a statement like that has its own gravity. That's what pulls people together, right?
He gets me excited. I'm like, woo!
And it's so inspirational when you hear the ideas that you'll be discussing with highly intelligent people articulated so amazingly. And he's
better than either of us could imagine. I've never seen anything like.
And just imagine all the people that are in the crowd. How many other Erics are there that could provide Eric type or Bish type or Tom type performances? And all we need to do is give them the opportunity.
It's literally once the people have understood today for the first time, we are decentralizing currency issuance, and they actually see that that's a real thing. Like I was speaking to Richard Wall out there, and he always couldn't get his head around, like, where does the money come from? But when you understand that the money comes from just people's belief and confidence and vow to accept it, suddenly it changes everything. And you realize how you can build something without trying to make money from it. Yeah, you can build something by actually making money, the actual units of account. That's a crazy thing. That's crazy. And it's learning curve. We don't know the answers. I don't know the answers. You don't know the answers.
I think we've always been extremely.
We know like 90% of them. I say.
Right. We know the direction.
We know the direction.
We know the direction, but we never know, because no one can know from which direction wind may blow if we're on this big ocean of possibilities sailing towards our North Star. But we have a great captain. I don't think we could be sailing under a better captain than you.
Oh.
We've known each other for a very, very long time, and
I am the promoter, right? And he is the stabilizer, because without Paul, nothing's possible, right?
What I think people need to understand about you is that you are a genius.
Yeah, it's true.
It's 100% true. And there's a traditional way of thinking about genius where, someone's a mathematics professor or they could do 18 lines of code in their head and God only knows what. But what's really unique, and I think also manifesting in you, is intelligence coupled with highly emotional intelligence and a great ability to communicate. Because no matter how good of a programmer someone may be, or how they have a concept, if they can't get others to be inspired about it, and they can't get others to follow them, and while being in that leadership role, be completely vulnerable and open to, listen, I know the direction, I want you to follow me here, but I don't know all the answers. Let's get a team assembled and attack in that direction. And I think you're fantastic at that. Probably the best I've ever met.
Hey, dude, that's why we're together. But at the same time, I come on, you can't give me juice for that.
No.
You know how I think anyway. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is what I do. I go, "Ooh, dinosaurs, it's all good. It's fantastic. It's an amazing world." It doesn't really matter what I say. Sometimes it's just how I say it. Of course, I try and be careful with my words, but I'm not precise enough. Paul is very, very precise, and we have arguments about it. It's so precise. I say, what did I say? I say I was talking to him earlier, and I carry on talking, and Paul's still thinking about who do I mean by him.
Yeah,
True. And if I don't say specifically who it is, then it drives him into a tornado of
an infinite loop. I get stuck.
But that's essential because it just distills and clarifies down the detail that we need, from this craziness that's going on. So I just want to say, dude, it's the beginning of a journey. The work's starting now, this is the pre-launch meeting of everything. We're still figuring out the detail. We're still figuring out, how the rewards work. There's a lot of things that'll be amended and improved and developed, I think over the next 6 months until launch. And what we need is 10,000 liquidity providers, and then we move to launch 10,000 QLPs, and we move to the launch into the main ecosystems everywhere. We say thank you to everyone, but we need to say thank you to ourselves, I think, a little bit. So just by you.
Fantastic.
Well done.
Thank you.
Let's change the world.
We're about to change the world.